Hi there, in this video we're going to look at variation. Now, what is variation? It's kind of similar to proportion in many ways, but it's a little bit more of a mathematical way of looking at it, okay? And basically, what it's saying is that if I buy one DVD, it's going to cost me a certain amount. If I buy two DVDs, it's going to cost me double that. If I buy three DVDs, it's going to cost me triple that amount. And if I buy four DVDs, it's going to cost me quadruple that amount, and so on and so on and so on until I have millions of DVDs potentially. Okay? Now, if we put that in a more mathematical context, alright, what that says is if one variable C, so that's the cost of DVDs, changes proportionally to another variable D, the amount of DVDs, so as the amount goes up, the cost goes up as well at the same rate. Okay? That's basically all it means. Then we can say that C varies directly as D. Now we say as, it doesn't really seem to make sense in a kind of English sort of way, but that's the way that we say it in maths, okay? Because we would like to be a little bit different like that. So C, the cost, varies directly as the amount, okay? And again, that makes sense because the cost will go up as the number of DVDs go up at the same rate, okay? Or we can shorten that down. This symbol here just means varies directly as. So instead of writing out varies directly as, or we can say C and then this little fish symbol, D, okay? Or another thing we can say is that C is equal to K times D. Okay, remember there's a time sign in there. What does the K stand for? The K just stands for a constant, okay? So for this whole topic we seem to be going right against the English department completely. K obviously, constant starts with a curly K, not a kicking K, but we've got a kicking K here for K for constant, okay? So these are the three different ways that we can kind of make a statement about direct variation. Okay, and I want you to copy this into your jotter, make sure that's all copied down first of all, then we're going to look at an example, alright? So the example we're going to look at here for direct variation is the cost of buying DVDs, so we're going back to the DVDs because it's the only prop I have, varies directly as D, the amount of DVDs. So 7 DVDs cost £30.52, so here we've got 7 DVDs. You can pause it and count them, there are 7 there, and this costs £30.52. So intuitively we kind of know that we're going to have to divide somehow and find the cost of one DVD and then work our way back up to another amount. We know that from doing proportion in class. But as I said, variation is a little bit more of a mathematical way of dealing with proportion. So we're going to look at this in a mathematical sense and try and figure it out from basic principles. Okay? So this is how we do that. So first thing I want you to do, guys, make sure you get this copied down, okay? Because I'm going to have to roll the board up to do the working on it, alright? So just make sure you get that copied down first, so pauses, and then put that to there. Okay, so the first question says, find a formula connecting C and D. Alright, so the solution for part A is going to be, first thing we write down is the proportion statement, okay? So C is directly, varies directly as D, okay? So this statement here, cost of buying DVDs, C varies directly as D. We discussed that in the video just previously, that we can shorten that to C, then the little fish symbol for varies directly as D. Now what we can do is we can actually replace that with equals a constant times D. Alright, so C varies directly as D, and we also know that C then is equal to a constant times D. And what we've got to try and do is, we've got to try and figure out the value of this constant here. Now I've been given two values from before. We've been told that 7 DVDs cost £30.52. So, £30.52 equals K times 7. And as we discussed at the very beginning, we know we're going to have to divide by 7. Alright, but if we look at the algebra here as well, we can see that £30.52 equals K times 7, or 7K. Right? So let's write that down. So 7K equals £30.52. So we know from our algebra knowledge, all we need to do now, excuse the black line in the middle, is we have to divide by 7. So K equals £30.52 divided by 7. So that means that our value for K is 436. Okay, so where does that leave us then? Well, we were asked to find a formula connecting C and D, right? And we had C equals K times D. We've found the value of K now, so that means that our formula is going to be C equals 436 D. Excellent. Okay, so this is a solution to the first part. This bit, sometimes people find a little bit of problem with because it's really new. Okay, so if we just remember that this first line, all we're doing is we're writing out C varies directly as D, because later on it could vary in a different way. Alright, so this means C varies directly as D, and then this statement here allows us to start opening up into an equation. Okay, because we know that it must be multiplied by some constant if it varies directly. Remember, a constant is just a number. Okay, in this case it's 4.36, it could be 2, it could be 10, it could be 0.5, it's just a number that we multiply by to get to the next value. So, working through the algebra, and remember you can rewind this if you want, you get to 4.36 and we get a formula for relating C and D together. Now, part B asks us, if we scroll back to that, asks us use this to find C if D equals 310. So it's just substitution now. So all we have to do is we start with our formula. And we know that D equals 310. So we just substitute that value in here. Remember, this is multiplying. So C is 4.36 times 310. And if we do that on our calculator, that means the cost of 310 DVDs will be, well, we know it's in pounds, so let's make that in pounds. Okay, so that last bit is very straightforward. So the kind of difficult part of this, if you like, is the variation statement and getting the algebra sorted out and getting a relationship between the two. Because if we know that basically every DVD costs £4.36 and the cost of DVDs is £4.36 times the number of DVDs you want to buy. Okay, so we put that in that kind of context, it makes it a little bit more easy to understand, but that's how we actually get to the £4.36 itself. Then what we have to do is we have to demonstrate that we can use the formula. So we have a value for D and we just substitute in and find the corresponding value for the cost. Alright, so remember, that was probably one of the most involved videos we've done for a little while, so make sure you're rewinding, make sure you're looking over things again, and make sure you've got full solutions and everything else copied into your notes. I obviously need to go because that's the police. Alright, see you next time.